Welcome back to New Rockstars. I'm Erik, Voss, and new looks at Daredevil Born Again, revealing a new girlfriend with ties to Kilgrave and a doomed fate in the comics. Also, the return of Nelson, Murdoch, and Paige, and hints that mayoral candidate Wilson Fisk is going to use metaverse AI technology to destroy our lives. We're going to dive deep into Matt Murdock's sexual history and look ahead to the next weekend's big Super Bowl trailers in this episode of The Sneak Peek, where we look ahead to the future of fandom. And joining me today is co-host Jessica Clemons.
Hello, 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 hello.
Is it official now that Matt Murdock is the kissiest Avenger?
I think he is the kissiest. Well, we don't know if he's an Avenger. He's definitely the kissiest defender. 100%. He's absolutely the kissiest defender. Yeah.
He's avenging a sexless MCU for the bulk of its history.
Look here. We're getting close to Valentine's Day. As a single lady, I love him. I respect him. And if Matt Murdock is listening, please marry me. Immediately. Leave the girl that you're kissing in these photos and kiss me instead.
Well, he won't have to leave her if you know her comics history. Yikes. Hey, before we get into it, we have a live show coming up on February 15th. That is the day after Valentine's Day, where you can come, just chill out with us. We're gonna have a lot of fun talking about whatever gets revealed at the Super Bowl. We're gonna talk about Madam Web. We're gonna take your questions. We're gonna do some bits that we never get to do on YouTube. It's gonna be at Brain Dead Studios on Fairfax in Los Angeles. It's an awesome venue. We had such a great time last time, and we hope you come have a great time with us this time.
Yeah. I heard Jessica Clemons will be there.
I heard Jessica Clemons will be there too. I heard that they use like a very, very recent headshot.
Stop it. Why would you bring that up right now? You know I'm sensitive about that headshot.
You look great.
No,
in that
I
headshot.
don't. And when Riley, our post supervisor, said, "Oh, Jessica, you look exactly the same." I look better now. Get rid of that
okay.
photo.
Well, whichever version of you feel better about, that's what you look like.
I look like a baby. Keep going.
When I was I was in college, I wrote for the newspaper in town, and I was like a columnist, and my editor at the time was like, "Hey, so we can get like a thumbnail of your face." And I was like, "Ooh, I'm like Roger Ebert." So I submitted a photo that was like just us goofing around after improv rehearsal. And I thought I looked pretty good in the photo. So I sent it to my editor, and she just emails me back. She goes, "Is this a recent photo?" And I was like, "Yeah, we took it like last weekend." And she goes, "Okay." And then it prints, and then all of my friends read my column, and they're like, "You look like you're 8 years old in this photo."
You're like, "It is a recent photo."
It was. I guess the lighting was weird or something.
My mom said it was a good photo.
My mom thinks I'm cool. What a handsome young man you are. You have to use this photo. Oh, I was standing beside like crayons with my foot up on a stool.
That's why, you weirdo.
Anyway, okay, so let's dive into this main topic about Daredevil Born Again. Set photos are coming out, and spoiler warning for Daredevil Born Again, but if you're on Twitter, you're seeing this stuff, so whatever. It's out there. I don't think they're trying to hide it this much. And what's fascinating about Daredevil Born Again is they are completely, it seems like, reshooting this show. Like, there is a version of Daredevil Born Again, so any set photos that came out in like 2022 or 2023, ignore them, because they're reshooting everything. And this is the version of the show we're getting now. And it's basically going to be a season 4 of the Netflix Daredevil continuity from the Netflix run. And that includes, we're getting Ben Poindexter Bullseye back on this show. It's just continuing the events. Yeah. But here are the updates that we've seen from these photos, and they're fascinating. First off, not too controversial. We're seeing some photos of Charlie Cox with Eldon Henson and Deborah Ann Wolf coming back as Foggy Nelson and Karen Page. And we're seeing their law practice office, Nelson, Murdoch, and Page, continuing the little cocktail napkin where they wrote this out. Their dream has become realized. And Karen Page is now a partner in their law office after becoming like a rapidly successful newspaper journalist working for the Bulletin in the Daredevil show. Now she gets to be a lawyer. But hey, good for her.
Yeah, I'm like, I call it nepotism. I'm just in love. I'm in love with Matt Murdock, and I want to be in there too. I could be a journalist. I could do it.
Hey, can we divorce the definition of nepotism away from just friends or people who have experience working together? People are like, "Oh, you're friends with him, so it's nepotism." It's like, no, nepotism just refers to if you are blood related to someone and they were not at all qualified.
Is there a definition of nepotism that does strictly say it has to be family? It has to be like blood related?
I think it's supposed to be family, but people use it for like, oh, they are friends or they are married to each other. But like, if they are qualified, then
Okay.
it's not nepotism.
Technically,
Like,
dictionary.com, I said dictionary. Dictionary.com says the practice among those with power or influence of favoring relatives, friends, or associates.
and that's the thing, friends or associates. That's what I'm saying. Let's redefine it, because
Yeah.
sometimes you can be friends or associates with someone because they have mutual shared experience with you in the field.
That's true.
It's like
Well, that's
if
different. That's a difference. That's a difference. That is the difference that can Venn diagram it of being like, well, if this person, there's friends of mine that I would never hire, period. They would be horrible at jobs. But then there's some that I'm like, oh no, they're already in this field. They're doing really well. They know what they're doing.
if they're qualified, it's not nepotism.
Yeah.
Let's just say
There
that.
you go.
We also see some newspaper headlines, and to me, these are the most interesting ones, because if you look at this, it talks about Wilson Fisk mayoral run. And if you look at this headline on the side, it talks about this like metaverse that's taking over all of society, and they have this whole weird. It's probably the copy of the article itself probably not important, but the headline I think is important. Because we just saw Wilson Fisk on Echo using this augmented reality to do ASL interpretation. So it sounds like he has a division of his Fisk empire that is dealing with technology. And that's going to be like his whole MO now as a villain in the MCU. Imagine him tied with Team Mysterio and how they use AI and fakery, digital fakery, in fake news to prop up their disinformation campaign. And that seems like exactly what's going to help Wilson Fisk become mayor.
100. Oh, especially if he's rigging the election. It's like, yeah, technology is working in his favor. The Netflix's Marvel projects love doing this, and I really like it. During like Luke Cage, a lot of it was during like the Black Lives Matter situation of like, oh, what's going on, and all these things that are happening that's systemically like racism going down to Luke Cage. That's why he was like, I'm going into politics. I need to go help and do something here. And then now with the AI situation with the strikes and how we all are feeling with AI and how it's taking over. And here is Wilson Fisk being like, I'm also a villain that's going to incorporate this into my life.
Yeah. Doesn't it seem like he could be part of a Marvel intelligentsia, and that Samuel Stearns could be part of this? They are all using like digital fakery, deep fakes, AI, and all this stuff to just like spread disinformation out there and cause chaos. And that's going to be a big part of Captain America: Brave New World.
Yes, they're Jonah Jameson. They're in No Way Home. They're literally just not even political, digital political figures doing things online and massing it out, blowing it out. And I mean, that's how he got it in the comics. Was like people were like, "Oh, he's approachable. He's a guy that knows what it's like to be for the people." And I'm like, you guys, read the big picture right now. Wilson Fisk is a horrible person.
Yeah.
Either way.
Some other people confirmed to be part of the show. It sounds like Royce Johnson might be coming back to play Brett Mahoney of the show. And then, from these set photos, we're also seeing a possible White Tiger villain committing a crime of some kind, but it kind of looks like a bootleg version of White Tiger. I don't know if it's the White Tiger who wears like the amulet to the family heirloom, who's like a super soldier. It kind of seems like someone who may just use the moniker of White Tiger. The Marvel villain Muse is also rumored to appear on the show. We haven't really seen this yet. This is just kind of rumored. But someone who might be a major player, especially since they're involved in the Wilson Fisk, Mayor Fisk comic storyline. This is someone who makes art depicting their victims, Muse.
He's like Banksy.
Yeah.
Banksy.
But also, Charlie Cox is seen on set giving some kisses to Margarita Liviera, who is playing Heather Glenn, who's Matt Murdock's current girlfriend. But in the comics, brace yourself. Heather Glenn's father is Maxwell Glenn, who is kind of this head of Glenn Industries, who is mind controlled by the Purple Man, Kilgrave, who we just talked about is the best villain to come out of the Netflix Marvel world. Jessica! And
why would you do that?
I'm sorry.
You know I don't like
Maxwell Glenn takes his life, but also Heather at the end of her story. That happens to her as well.
And the thing is, you know damn well Daredevil is going to probably get that dark. It's going to get really sad and it's going to be horrible. And it wouldn't, I think, I don't want to see it, period. Clearly, it's very sad. But I'm like, if they do bring in that Kilgrave had some ties to her in the storyline, again, weave in Jessica Jones, and I could see it happening. I could see them doing it, keeping it.
So, what do you think is more likely on this upcoming season of Daredevil: Born Again? That we will see the return of David Tennant as Kilgrave, even though he died at the end of
Yeah.
Jessica Jones, his voice kind of returned to Jessica Jones in the finale of season 3 of that show. Or are we going to see establishing Wilson Fisk as like someone who has a specialized form of AI technology in the metaverse, and he uses that to corrupt and erode honesty and truth in the MCU.
100% that.
Yeah.
100% that. We're getting into the Marvel Spotlight grounded stuff. I'm like, oh, 100%. We got to get it where it hurts. We're doing magic. We're doing all these other things in space. We might as well stay grounded with taking over technology. The easiest way to take over the minds is through
Yeah.
technology.
See, that's why I think like, I had a theory video that came out last weekend or whatever where I talked about the theory that Wanda may have said no more mutants in the past and that like mutants just kind of like their X gene became dormant in a reality warp. And that since then, since her departure in Multiverse of Madness, that mutants' X genes are now becoming awakened again,
Mhm.
but that people are still just kind of confused what the past is in
Yeah.
the MCU. I think the whole idea of the metaverse and fake news in the MCU could have contributed to this. And this is why people are
Mm.
just, you have Doctor Strange's Runes of Cough Call spell that erased
Mhm.
Spider-Man's memory from existence.
Jesus
Like,
Christ.
you just have, I think, this general state of euphoric confusion in the
Yeah.
MCU, and that fake news is exploiting this, and that's how Wilson Fisk is able to like rewrite his own narrative from like a slumlord villain to
Yeah.
being a possible white knight to save the city.
it seems it just seems like all of that happening at once should melt people's brains at some point to a degree that in the Marvel Cinematic Universe it turns them into something.
Hmm.
Whereas in today we're like, ooh, kids are robots or zombies with their phone. In the MCU, what's the higher form of that? They'd just be like dead. Because I'm like, if we're controlling them with spells and with that, like what's the aftermath? What's gonna
I
happen?
think you just have people who are confused, who are angry, who just don't care. I think apathy
Oh
and
yeah.
vulnerability to savior complexes. Like I'm just surprised we haven't seen like mass cults in the
Yes.
MCU of people who just, and maybe that's what Kingpin's gonna be. Is there's gonna
Yes.
be like a cult of Kingpin
Well,
to where people are just like, okay, here's someone I know, someone I think is
mhm.
trustworthy, and then yeah, you have cult movements form from there.
Well, 100%, because once he goes up to that power, there's no one else that's gonna once he's in the political form, there's still the underground crime ring that's now just like, who's in charge? Who's doing what? So there's gonna be different factions of New
Hmm.
York again, where people are just gonna be going crazy and you choose a side.
Yeah.
And oh, God knows what's gonna happen when Harlem fights the Hell's Kitchen. I'm trying to think of all boroughs in New York, and I can't think of them. But yeah, it'll create some catastrophe.
Manhattan, Brooklyn, Queens, Staten Island,
Yeah, and they're all gonna
and
fight.
the Bronx.
Oh, you're from Florida.
I think those are the 5.
You're from
Yeah,
Florida. You don't know New York.
you don't know where I'm from.
You don't know you don't know where I'm from.
Yeah, I think right now would be the time when Hydra could have a resurgence.
Yeah.
Like
Oh my
Hydra
god.
being
God
that was something
forbid.
that was like between movies in the MCU. You had Hydra make their big comeback in Captain
Oh
America,
my.
Winter Soldier, and then like 9 or 10 months later, they were done in Age of
Yeah.
Ultron. Or it was about a year later. Like, yes, this was explored in Agents of Shield, and it was explored in some Prelude comics, but like we needed to see how dangerous Hydra could
Yeah.
be in a movie. And I think Hydra should come back now because now people are just confused.
It's gonna come back as something else. It's gonna come back as something else, and I could see it being brought in with Wilson Fisk's power of tech over technology because he's not smart, so he's just funding it. And if he's
Mm.
funding it and it's going on forever and it's a political funding, god damn, we're just gonna bring out the worst kind of people that are gonna create the worst kind of technology. Ugh.
Yeah, agreed. Let's take a look at the a week ahead on new Rockstars. So we have our X-Men First Class breakdown that is on the channel, I think now as we speak. Check it out. We are also rumored to have a an announcement of the Fantastic Forecast this week. We're not sure for sure about that, but we'll see. We'll see. And then we also are going to be live on New Rockstars on Super Bowl Sunday. The live stream will happen right as the game comes to an end, but if you miss it after the live broadcast, we will upload that stream as a video that you can rewatch later on the Break Room channel. So be sure to subscribe both to New Rockstars and the Break Room. And whatever trailers we get during Super Bowl Sunday, we're going to do our best to just do reaction video uploads to them as quickly as we can. So we might get like a Deadpool 3 trailer and any other trailers. We're going to have reactions to those on the New Rockstars channel. But that brings us to our next topic, where we're going to do a quick little preview of what trailers may be coming down the pipeline for Super Bowl Sunday.
Yes.
So Jessica, I'm going to pitch you a trailer, and you give me the chances out of 100%
Okay.
that whether we'll see it.
If you're looking for an easy way to pamper yourself, revamping your daily hygiene routine is a great place to start, and Geology is here to help. Geology is a 29-time award-winning skin, hair, and body care company recognized in Men's Health, Oprah Daily, Hypebeast, Birdie, Esquire, and GQ. Geology's products use just a handful of powerful, proven ingredients that have been trusted by dermatologists for decades. Geology can help you fight acne, reduce oiliness, prevent wrinkles, combat dark or puffy under eyes, have smoother, hydrated skin, and target signs of aging. And I am old as hell. If you don't know where to start, Geology can create a simple and effective skincare or hair care routine for you. All you got to do is take a quick 30-second quiz. Right now, if you use code NewRockstars100, Geology will give you 100% off of their award-winning skincare trial set. 100%. That's all of it. That's all of it. That's the entire enchilada. You also get an additional bonus offer of up to 30% off one skin, hair, or body products when you add it to your trial. So 100% off plus an additional 30% off. Hope you save some champagne because this is a deal worth celebrating. Click the link in the description or go to geolog.ie/rockstars100 to get started.
I'll start with one we're highly anticipating seeing, Deadpool 3.
100%.
Yeah, 100%. I think we're seeing that as well. Also expected, a trailer for A Quiet Place, Day 1.
Yes.
I think we're seeing this too. So I'm really excited about this movie that's coming later this year. I believe it's coming in April or May or June.
The Quiet Place?
Yeah.
Are you a Quiet Place fan?
I'm a huge fan. I've seen,
nice.
The first A Quiet Place I think was stronger than the second one. But I mean, John Krasinski did a great job directing both those films.
He did the damn thing. I love A Quiet Place. I'm obsessed
Cillian
with
Murphy, unrecognizable in the second one. He's got that big bushy beard, but he's great. The only thing that doesn't make sense is like, why? I know this is the premise of the movie, but in a world where you have sound-based aliens that are hunting you, why would you choose to have another kid?
This is the same debate, and it's when the reality meets media, because it's the same situation I had in The Walking Dead, where I was like, girl, don't have that baby. I was in The Walking Dead. I was like, girl, this is not the time. This is not the time. And that's how I felt with A Quiet Place. I was like, you got to put this baby in a cannon. What was it?
They built this little bassinet that was like soundproof in their basement. They took all these steps, but like, here's where I get. Here comes Erik talk about how he's dad again. I get there are biological imperatives, and the biological instinct to procreate is something that is very, very difficult to resist. Mm-hmm. However, you have two other kids. And your biological instinct as a parent is paramount. And if you were to have a third kid, that puts those two kids at danger. So the fact that they did that is just reckless and irresponsible to those two kids. And I can't imagine that they would still do that.
You know damn well John Krasinski was like, not in my film. He said, we're having that baby.
It makes it more, baby. Obviously, it's the whole, premise of the movie. It makes it an interesting story.
Yeah.
And I get they lost their first kid, so they're like, no, life must find a way, and we'll do whatever. That's the whole point of the movie. But it is just one of these things where it's like,
why?
No, you wouldn't do that.
No, because now every hiccup, every speed bump is that baby. The second movie, every chaotic thing is because of that baby. And I'm like,
also, why wouldn't they live by the waterfall? That's my thing. That waterfall is so loud and they can talk by it. Why wouldn't you just build
What if the aliens eventually showed up and they just started drinking from it, though? Then you're...
I don't know. I still think, they'd just be confused, right? The whole thing, the aliens are just like thrown by things that are just natural loud noises like waterfalls. Maybe they're worried about the dry season. The waterfall only has like a trickle during the wet season. I don't know.
Look here.
Let's get back to our trailer prediction. The movie Twisters.
There's a Twister movie coming out.
Oh, yes.
There's a
Yes.
Twister movie coming out.
It is
How
going to
did I
be
not
one of
know
the
about
best
this?
movies of summer. It's a
How did I
sequel to
not know about
Twister.
this?
And then what's his face? Glenn, what's his face from Anyone But You? Glenn Powell. Glenn Powell is going to be in it. This
How
movie's
did
going to
I
be
not know
great.
about there's another Twister movie?
You got to look into this. It's so good.
I just looked into it. Oh, with Daisy Edgar Jones. I love Daisy Edgar Jones. There's a stacked cast in this. What is going on?
That's what I'm saying.
The guy from Nope. What's going on?
Everybody's in this.
I had no idea of this movie, and I love Twister.
It's gonna be bonkers.
Do you think that we're gonna get a trailer? I didn't even know this movie was coming out. So do you think we're gonna get a trailer?
Yes, because it is a summer movie. It's coming out July 19th. That's Barbie weekend, and you know they're gonna want all eyes on this movie.
What's the studio? What's the studio?
It's Universal production.
Universal's paying for a lot of trailers.
Yeah, they love that.
Are you sure? Oh, okay.
It's Amblin, so Spielberg passed on this script. Passed as in, I approve.
It's good to go.
It's gonna be good.
Oh my god.
So I'm thinking like 80% for Twisters.
Okay.
Twisters trailer. It's funny because this always happens. Super Bowl Sunday comes, and before Super Bowl, we don't really know what the year's gonna look like. And then after the Super Bowl, suddenly, wasn't there like a Barbie trailer at the Super Bowl? I might be wrong.
I can't remember. There was a lot of things that came out last Super Bowl. I got too twisted by Rihanna.
Craven. Do you think we're gonna get a Craven trailer?
When is Craven coming out again? It got pushed.
August.
I would expect it, but do you think it might take away from Madam Web? Well, Madam Web comes out before, or no, I don't think, I'm going to say no, because I think they want us to focus all our attention on Madam Web right now.
Maybe. I just think
August is
the
far
bags
away.
are packed for Madam Web. We're talking about like 2 days before that movie comes 100%. Out. It's not like a Super Bowl. Like that would be a waste of their money to promote Madam Web.
But it's also like, I think it's a waste of money to also do that. Craven.
No. Aaron Taylor Johnson, jacked all to hell, biting off people's noses. Yeah, no, that's good money to spend Super Bowl money on.
And I think that's why is because we've already seen such a big tidbit of that movie that it's like, you're going to give me a second trailer. I think they would wait a little bit. August is far away. I get July, but August, we're not going to remember.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah, normally the Super Bowl, like they promote stuff that's coming out for the first half of the summer. But we had we had Ready Player One, and that was like a March release.
Because I was like, they would have to come out with another one by June, May, and then July would be all those. The week before they start giving you the entire movie.
Fair enough.
That's every movie, not just the Sony movies. Every movie will a week before the movie. They're like, oh, here's every piece of the goddamn film.
Every once in a while, we get a teaser for something that's coming out way later in the year. We're like, I'm not going to remember this come Christmas time. But Inside Out 2, Pixar's Inside Out 2, it's coming in June. Do you think we'll get a trailer this Super Bowl?
We should. They've teased so many times the people that are coming now, the characters. They got to drop it. They got to drop it now. We got enough.
I don't know. My wife works on that movie, and I do not know.
Tell Kelly to tell them to speed it up. I need to cry again in a theater.
Furiosa. Movie's coming in May. We've seen one trailer. Do we get a second trailer at the Super Bowl?
It wouldn't be a teaser.
No, I mean, they'd have to show more. But you'd have like Chris Hemsworth in this movie with the nose, the fake nose. You have Anya Taylor-Joy playing young Furiosa.
When does it come out again? Sorry, say again.
It comes out in late May.
Maybe. Yeah, it's February, dude.
Next on our list, Godzilla x Kong: The New Empire movie coming early April.
Yes, we are absolutely getting another Godzilla x Kong thing.
Yeah,
I think this one will show more of the orangutan. It will show more of him than it did in the trailer.
Scar.
Yeah, Scar. Yes. Thank you.
House of the Dragon Season 2. We've gotten a trailer at CCXP. Do we get a second one with a release date?
Oof. I don't think so.
No?
I don't think so. The only reason I'm saying I don't think so is because I think HBO's waiting a little bit longer to get more stuff, and they can. We're going to tune in regardless. We don't need the Super Bowl trailer of that to tune in.
I think we do, just because historically we generally see some HBO promo.
This is the only one?
There's other shows they could promote, but I feel like this is the one that HBO is going to use to be like, please still subscribe to Max.
Isn't Curb Your Enthusiasm on this last season?
Yeah, we might get like a general HBO promo that has
Mm.
like it's 30 seconds and we get some shots of Larry David screaming at a valet and then Matt Smith going, how much younger can we make her?
Go to the next one.
Okay, on to the next one. I know you want to talk about this one. Do we get a teaser for Beetlejuice? Beetlejuice.
Beetlejuice?
Do you think we see a teaser?
I hope.
It's coming
I
in
hope.
September
Yeah,
6th.
that's what I was gonna say. I was like, it's kind of far, but I feel like you don't just give us the posters without and then the name without giving us. That's like giving us Wicked, like how Wicked is doing right now. They're giving us a bunch of teases, but they're not giving us the trailer yet. That's why I'm like, Beetlejuice. They're giving us teases. They might as well just drop a trailer. I don't know how far they're into production though. To be fair,
If it's coming out in September, they got to be
they have to be done.
close to wrapping.
That's what I thought. And Michael Keaton improvised the entire first movie. He's probably improvising again.
That's what makes it so hard to shoot. He does a different take every time.
I'm gonna say yes.
Okay, you say yes. Joker Folie à Deux.
We better.
I don't think we will. That's not coming until October, I think.
Oh, never
I
mind.
don't think
No,
we do.
we're not getting it yet. They're gonna keep teasing us with some behind the scenes footage or photos.
Same with Venom 3. I don't think we see a Venom 3 teaser before a Craven.
Yeah,
a
I was like,
second
we'd get
Craven
Craven.
trailer. Yeah.
Before Venom.
Okay, but here's I think the one we're both most excited about. Wicked. Do we get a Wicked teaser at the Super Bowl?
Yes, we do.
See, I think that's the holiday release that Universal's like, we will plug one holiday release and it's going to be Wicked. And because I think that is, of all the different movies coming out later this year, I think Wicked has the best chance to make $1 billion.
You are so excited for Wicked, and it wasn't until like recently where I realized how much of a fan of Wicked you were.
Oh God, we got to find some. I mean, you put it on your top 5 movies of the year, and I should have put it on mine.
I didn't. That's
slept
why I
on it.
didn't know you liked it so much. And then, like, not even recently. It was after that I was like, oh, Erik loves Wicked. Why didn't he put it in his top 5?
So there are photos of me from high school where I had like 5 shirts that I wore on rotation, and 4 of them were like play shirts that we made to promote our plays that from past years. And then the 5th one was a Wicked shirt. It just was the logo Wicked with the little green alphabet for the dot on the eye.
Oh my God, little Erik.
I wore it everywhere. I listened to the Wicked soundtrack. When my parents took me to go tour colleges in the Northeast, we went by New York, and I said we have to get tickets to Wicked.
Oh my God.
I saw Shoshana Bean. I wasn't able to see the original cast with Adina and.
I mean, I've listened to it enough.
Yeah. So, and I've read the book. I read Gregory Maguire's weird book where they fuck a tiger in the Emerald City. So it's a strange book. And I'm so excited for this movie.
I'm so happy for you. I hope it's I think it's gonna be great. Like beyond all the controversy of the actors that are in the movie.
Can we talk about that for a second?
Oh,
do you think it's so? To brief our viewers, Ariana Grande is playing Glinda Upland, and she has had a relationship with the actor they cast as Bach, who in the story of Wicked is like a college fellow student with them who has a huge crush on Glinda, but he ends up settling for Elphaba's younger sister, Nessa Rose, who's in a wheelchair. And she's like the Wicked Witch of the East or whatever. And Glinda's like, see that tragically beautiful girl, the one in the chair. It seems so unfair. We should go about free and not she. I know someone would be my hero if that someone were to go invite her. And Bach's like, oh, I'll get your attention by dating this one. And then he always feels spurned. So they cast this guy who played SpongeBob on Broadway. He's a very talented actor, but he's also married and has a young child. And basically, his ex-wife went out against Ariana Grande and said she's not a girl's girl. She's a homewrecker. And then, this ex-wife, Ethan Slater and her had went to high school together. They were like High School Musical theater nerds together. But now I'm wondering, was this all some kind of star kid drama bullshit?
You know, that once you just said that, I'm like, oh my God, it is such a theater kid drama. It's such theater kids. Not only are they horny as hell, I was a theater kid. I'm allowed to say this. Drama. We just have to create it. We have to be in it. That's who we are. We're bred to do it. But that entire series, that scenario is so insane. And that's all happening, especially because Ariana also hung out with them a bunch of times with the wife. Um, Insane. And then there's Cynthia Varia, who has her own quarrels, and god damn it. God, God. And then Cynthia is in the comments of Ariana Grande being like, "You're good, girl. We got this." And I'm like, I don't know what's going on. But this is one of my favorite musicals, and y'all better not ruin it for me.
They're not. It's going to be a 2-part. It's a John Chu directed extravaganza. Jeff Goldblum is playing the wizard. Michelle Yeoh is playing Madame Morrible. Bowen Yang is in it. This is going to be wild. This is going to be crazy. It's going to be so much fun. And speaking of billion-dollar movies, I made a conspiracy theory video this week about the possibility that Ryan Reynolds could be trying to hijack the Super Bowl in order to make Deadpool 3 a billion-dollar movie, to pull some strings and get Taylor Swift to be in the movie, and that Taylor Swift is dating Travis Kelce, and that the NFL is in on it. And everyone went in the comments of that video and thought it was like a joke or thought it was a slow news day. To me, ladies and gentlemen, this is a huge news story. How can you say this is a slow news story? If we had Loki and Ahsoka and a Marvel movie all happening this week, I would still be like, no, we got to make a video about this. This is a crazy social media phenomenon that is happening right now, and we have to talk about it. And it's not a joke. It was honestly, watch the video. I know the title of it makes the video look stupid, but I think I'm proud of the video, and our editors did some amazing work in that video.
Erik did do a lot of research that I could not help with. I don't know Taylor Swift, but he knows Taylor Swift. He's best friends with Taylor Swift. But no, he does go into research. And what I think, it's like there's so much social things that are happening currently, like even pop culture wise, that we should be talking about, because it does actually branch into what we do in our jobs. And I'm like, we're trying to also talk about it. It's not just, it's not slow. It's like, this actually is incorporated into what we're doing. It's still, it's more, it feels more pop culture than it does nerd fandom-esque, but it's still like, no, it is.
It's part of my job. Like throughout COVID, a big part of what we did on New Rockstars was a series called Tweet Down, which I would look at a tweet of someone like, Elizabeth Olsen, and then we would use that to speculate on whether this could be like hinting at clues, or did Ryan Reynolds like this thing? Like this is part of our DNA at New Rockstars, is to dig into this stuff. And while yes, we are people who analyze movies and TV, by breaking down trailers, which I feel like is also a big part of what we do, we look at marketing strategies.
Yeah,
and this whole thing with Ryan Reynolds and Taylor Swift is a marketing strategy at the end of the day. And that's as much part of the narrative as these movies themselves. So I don't think it's bad to say, what could Marvel Studios be hiding in this trailer? What might they have edited out of this trailer? In the same way, I don't think it's bad to say, hey, Ryan Reynolds tweeted this, and could there be a connection to Taylor Swift in this? I think people just like, it's just code because they don't want to hear about Taylor Swift.
Yeah.
Before we go, let's talk about what we're watching. Jessica, what have you been watching this week?
I'm actually, and we talked about this briefly this morning, I should have saved it for this. I'm rewatching Luke Cage right now. I think I'm going to go back and rewatch all of the Defender saga. Yes, because I love it. Mainly because I love it. But I was like, with the political scheming that Wilson Fisk is getting into and how we ended Luke Cage, I was like, let me go back and rewatch Luke Cage. So I'm watching it right now. First season, halfway through, very fun to rewatch. It brings up memories from so long ago that I love so much. All the actors are phenomenal. And Erik knew this. I completely forgot how many characters were returning that were in season 1 of Luke Cage that have been in Marvel property or Marvel projects as either the same character or a new character. There's a lot of Black actors in that show that show up through the MCU, and I just completely forgot. So go back and watch it. Those fight scenes, the choreography, great. I love Harlem. That's what I'm watching right now.
Season 1 of Luke Cage, pretty good. Once they got, as long as Mahershala Ali is still part of it, once we move on from that, to me it's not as good.
Do you? I feel the same way, which I think everyone does. I was obsessed with it so much I went to the creator's Twitter account, and someone mentioned how in Luke Cage, he's always fighting like a lot of brown people. It's never a lot of white people. And they were like, well, the creator was like, I wanted to hire more Black people for the show. and also it's Harlem. And then he also goes in to talk about how in the pilot episode, a white person doesn't talk for the first 12 minutes and then doesn't have a full sentence until minute 29 in the pilot. And I was like, oh my God. And then I watched it, and it's true. It is very true. It's a crazy thing that the creator hid a lot of Easter eggs of himself into the show, and it's great.
Yeah, it's great. I believe back in fall 2017, I think I did do a breakdown of Luke Cage season 1, but you know what? Luke Cage, Jessica Jones, all these shows over the next, 18 months, 2 years, we're going to try to like do re-breakdowns of all these things because they're good. I watched a very, very white movie called Anatomy of a Fall. But
it's February 1st.
I watched it in January. I got to it in January. I would not watch that in February. No, it's a good movie. It's one of these movies that you saw like mentioned at the Golden Globes, and I was like, what the hell is this movie? Why is it beating all these other things? How good can it be? And Kelly and I watched it, and it's just like a wonderful like European true crime movie that is so well structured. And as we were watching, I was like, this is kind of slow. But then as it ended, I was like, I'm fascinated by this movie's construction, and it's just like probably the most airtight true crime like legal drama that you could ever conceive of. And then when you read the script is written with like sketches of the actual layout of the house. And as you're watching it, like whoever wrote this must have like conceived of every possible permutation of how this could be. It's like the best episode of Law & Order SVU or the best true crime podcast that you've ever listened to put into a film. And it's just really interesting. It's really interesting.
Now I'm going to watch it.
Yeah, but I will warn you, it's like one of these movies that's over 2 hours. There's a lot of long takes. And as you're watching it, you're going to be like, this is sleepy. But then on the other end of it, you're going to be like, wow, this is really good. So anyway, that's why I watched this week. But I watched it in January.
Okay, there you go. Good. Thank you. Thank God. Thank God.
We'll leave it there for this episode of the Sneak Peek, but let us know which Super Bowl trailer you're most looking forward to, what movie in 2024 you're most looking forward to, and what do you think the greatest threat Daredevil Born Again will bring into the MCU. I want to thank co-host Jessica Clemons for joining us this week. Follow her at Lulu_Clemons. You can follow me at EA Voss. Support new Rockstars by grabbing a shirt. Like we have this multiverse tour, Eras Tour inspired shirt that you can grab at nerdriot.shop, and be sure to get tickets to our live show in Los Angeles on February 15th. We would love to hang out with you. We'll see you all next week. Bye, everybody.